7:19. Welcome back to today's presentation of Morning Barbados. I hope you're having a good day. I don't know if you've had your cup of coffee or maybe cup of tea or whatever it is already, but make sure that you cut out some of the sugar. And Bajans say, well, I don't take sugar in my tea, but you have a little sweet bread with it, right? So we have to be careful in that regard. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But right now, we're talking about something that can change the very nature of what we do in terms of travel, trade, tourism, you name it, across the region. One of the major things that holds us back, I feel, as a people, is being able to freely move across the region. So joining us this morning, we have some of the principals working along with the Connect Caribe ferry service that's about to come into being. I wish I could tell you it was next week, but they're going to share some more information about exactly when they're hoping that the service will be available to us. Richard Allen is Chief Operations Officer with the service. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning. Anthony Hinkson joins us. He's president of the e-commerce division.
Good morning, Trish.
And also here is the beautiful Jennifer Highland, Vice President, Corporate Communications and Strategic Partnerships as well.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Good stuff. We're going to bring in at some point Brendan Mohammed, who's president of the cargo division of Connect Caribe Ferry Service 2. So he's going to join us virtually to be a part of this discussion. So thank you all for sharing with us, first of all, and agreeing to be here all in one place. You know, usually as they do with certain businesses, when you have a flight going out, you can't put all the executives in one space. Maybe that's why Brendan is joining us online. However, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Allen. Let me say, first of all, congratulations on this move. It's something that we really have been looking forward to in the Caribbean for a long time. Just at the basics, free movement. Let's talk about the objectives of this particular initiative.
Well, as you said, it's been something that has been required for a long time because movement within the Caribbean is really not as easy or as reasonable as it could be. I mean, we're a small community, but we're separated by ocean. And therefore, there's long been the need for us to sort of bridge that gap between the islands. And I know it will redound to, the benefit of a lot more interregional traffic, and also, importantly, bring us closer together as a community.
Now, I know that there are ferry services as we look across the Eastern Caribbean, certainly on a smaller scale, but in terms of moving across the islands is a little different, and we're in a different space when we think about where travel is. So here's where you come in, where you're kind of integrating the online space into how we will be able to engage. So share some more about that.
Well, let me put it this way. In the estimates of 2024, 2025, our region is going to spend approximately $4 billion in e-commerce. And that's money that's going out of our region. However, the products and the services that we have indigenously are world class. So why should you buy your foundation, your makeup from someone in the UK, someone in the US, when you can purchase products that are coming straight out of the Amazon? Why? You don't know that they exist. And so having an e-commerce platform tied to the ferry service allows for example, a producer of healthcare products, beauty products, or technology services to then come onto our platform and be exposed to the whole region that we'll be looking to service.
Wonderful stuff. I mean, this just covers just about everything, which makes Ms. Highland's job that much easier to be able to kind of share generally about it. But communication is at the core of how you will be able to make this work, to share across countries, because as many similarities we have quite a few differences. So to be able to literally and figuratively bridge those gaps is where communication and strategic communication will come in.
Absolutely. Well, I want to go back to say, just for the purpose of your audience, that Pleon Group is the parent company for Connect Caribe. And just to give you a little history how Connect Caribe came about, we are working very closely with the CARICOM private sector organization, but initially, to make this work, we decided that it has to be a consortium of persons who have expertise in the various areas, cargo, e-commerce, and cargo, obviously, and agri-cargo. And so the interesting thing about communications is to make sure that each division shares the business model and the goals of how we want to implement the service and the phased approach, so that each island, when it comes to communicating, how can it benefit the individual islands that the cruise ferry will go to, and the cargo as well, because in the initial stages, when with a phased approach, we're looking at Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad, because the data suggests that the sweet spot, so to speak, are those islands. And then as the phased approach, as we build capacity, then we'll be going to other islands. So my job really is to ensure that each island, each jurisdiction understands what the service would mean for their economy, for the small businesses and the entrepreneurs. Hence, again, for my role is we've got the stakeholder consultation coming up, and that would, all of these stakeholders involved be able to come to Deloitte Erskine Santa Fe Center and understand what it means for their individual islands, for the small businesses, as you just heard from our president. What does it mean for the e-commerce? What does it mean for the ferry and moving goods and people across the various islands? So my role is to make sure that that information is shared succinctly, and the individual jurisdictions understand the benefits that would accrue to the islands.
And this is a great opportunity to bring Brenda Mohammed in as we talk about the introduction of being able to freely move cargo. Unfortunately, I'm being told that we've not been able to make that connection with him. So I don't know if our COO, Mr. Aline, if you can speak to that. I know you started talking about the importance of being able to move cargo, and usually when we think of movement on the sea, that's what a lot of people are thinking. But to be able to do both at the same time, move people, whether it's for tourism purposes or whether it's business travel, but certainly the movement of cargo could be a real game changer. Certainly among these three islands initially, and then as you explain, through expansion and as you build capacity to move further across the region, it could be a game changer for businesses.
Yes, I think it will be, because you will have to recognize that probably 8% of the cargo that's moved worldwide is moved by shipping. And in terms of cost, it's a much more cost-effective way of doing it. Also, what it does too, it helps the individual sort of industries within the country to connect and to, normally they may not, because that's one of the objectives of our service, that we will help the local industries to grow and to reach markets that they normally would not have been able to reach. So, and it's not a new idea. In the, I think it was in the 60s, early 70s, you had the idea of the federal boats, where those boats were moving cargo and passengers between from Trinidad right down to Jamaica. So the idea is not new. And the other thing I should say is that yes, we recognize that there are a number of ferry services operating within the region, but they're very localized and very specific. We are working towards a regional service that actually connects and unites the region as one entity. And one thing I would add also, given the last experience of the passage of the hurricane and so, when a country is impacted by a storm or so, one of the easiest and the best and most effective ways of bringing relief supplies to that country is through shipping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the e-commerce platform briefly. When I think about integrating that into a service like this, there's so many directions that you can go. You gave an overview of being able to shop online through the service. So let's kind of delve in a little deeper, because to get online these days, nobody is necessarily showing up at a port of call for a ticket. They're also jumping online.
Yes.
So that too will be a major part, I suppose, of what you will need to do.
And to go back what Jennifer was saying, we are having a Connect Caribe Summit, the 23rd to the 24th. And so the 24th, we will actually be speaking a lot on what we are going to be offering in terms of the platform, what you can do. But in a nutshell, what we're aiming is to have that Caribbean marketplace online. Having a website is not a silver bullet to business success. And so when you go to the supermarket, you have that space where you have complementary products. And so you get to how many of us go into the supermarket to buy one thing and then come out with a whole bag of other stuff you didn't plan to buy?
I will not admit that.
But the same concept is what we are looking to leverage with regards to e-commerce and looking to how we build businesses. So as most of the bigger sites, when you go to buy one thing, they will say, well, have you ever considered what your other people are buying, which are these other products? And so as a business person, you get that secondhand buying sort of a stream coming into your business, because someone is going to look for mahogany furniture, but then they're looking at saying, oh, but I need some artwork to go along with that. And so we're tying in both those manufacturers of furniture with the secondhand. I need to have my entire environment looking a particular way. So that way e-commerce brings in our one marketplace multiple vendors from different silos together that they can actually synergize and see cross-platform buying. Because it makes no sense you having again, let's go back to the lady who has a product selling beauty products from the Amazon. If you have a beautiful website and nobody knows about it, you've wasted money and you're wasting time. You need to have those synergies where you can get the cross buying moving together. And again, we are looking at a market which currently has $4 billion as going out in our foreign exchange. We haven't talked about agri-commerce as yet, but agri-commerce, our agri-commerce bill as a region is somewhere in the neighborhood of $14 billion. CARICOM has a mandate of 25% reduction of that by 2025. So again, being able to buy our goods, can you get pineapples, can you get potatoes, can you get rice? All of these things then tie back into e-commerce, because then you're able to actually access those products, whether you are a supermarket or whether you're just granny at home who wants to get a particular set of products that you can't get maybe in your local market.
And move them, which is the most important thing, to be able to literally move them.
Exactly.
So all of a sudden you've expanded the consumer's reach, the wholesalers' reach, to be able to go after these products themselves,
Exactly.
which could drive prices down. And we could talk about all the other residual benefits for days, but I know Jennifer wants to stay on target, because that's what communications people do.
Yes.
And talk about this stakeholder consultation forum.
Yes.
So I'm going to hold back on the urge to say, when will the boats be ready? Give you the opportunity to talk a little bit more.
I'll oblige you. We are looking at end of quarter this year, end of quarter start for the cargo operations, and then for the cruise we're looking at the first quarter of 2025. So I hope that answers your question. So what we want to do at the Stakeholder Consultation Forum, as I said, is to bring all these stakeholders together. We're not naive to believe that everything is in place. There are some gaps that we need to fill, and what we're seeking to do is to bring, for example, in the cargo division, all of these stakeholders that can contribute to when we present the solutions, because each president is going to present the business model, the goals and the vision, and we have a roundtable after to speak to the issues and the risks that are still within the market, so to speak, that each, for example, if we have customs there, they will be able to say what are the solutions that we need to put in place, infrastructure that we need to put in place, immigration, obviously, for the movement of people and so on. And so at the end of the presentation, the roundtable discussion will then speak to the issues that there, and then what are the next steps that we need to take to make sure that the solutions that we present are addressed, so that we have a rollout that is, I wouldn't say not fully without the nuances that we have to address. But with all of the stakeholders making their contributions, then we will know how we need to move forward, what issues we need to address to make sure that when we, sail our first sailing, that a lot of these issues will be mitigated because we would have had the contributions of all of the stakeholders involved. The second day, as you heard, is this e-commerce day. We are working with the SBA, the Caribbean Export Development Agency, to make sure that all of the micro businesses, the SMEs, understand what are the benefits. How are you going to be able to access an 18 million Caribbean market that's going to be opened up with as far as Anguilla right back to Suriname in a phased approach. So they need to understand it's not just like selling internally in the Barbados market, but as you heard, someone who has a product can ship that product in 2-3 days based on the routes that we will be attending. So it will be critical for the small businesses and even the conglomerates to have representatives there so that they can understand how to utilize our services. And I'm sorry that Mr. Mohammed did not get on, Brendan, because he is the president for the cargo division, and he would have been able to speak more succinctly on that. But
yeah, well, this just means you have to come back.
Yes, we would have to come back. But the second day is a nominal cost of $25 US dollars, 50 Barbados dollars. But the first day is free. Admission is free, and it's from 9 to 4. And the second day is 9 to 2 p.m. for the e-commerce day.
All right, so you get in there, certainly as entrepreneurs, you're looking toward the SMEs to be able to capitalize on this Caribbean market that you talked about. So all of a sudden we're moving past these physical borders, 280, 300,000 people, and being able to kind of harness all of your energies, your services, your products, and market to, and likewise, in reverse, have access to all of the products and services available down the region. I want to thank all of you for sharing with us, and we look forward to hearing a whole lot more about it. I can hear all the calls are coming in on the other side. People are saying, when does it start?
Well, we definitely will be back to when we a few things that we're still working on, but we definitely come back with an actual date when we launch and break that bottle on, you call it the bow? I don't know if that's what you call it, right? Yeah, so we definitely will be back closer to the operations when we can definitely give a date. But the stakeholder conference is very, very critical for all the stakeholders in travel, trade, and cargo to be there so that they can hear firsthand all of what we will be rolling out.
All right.
Yes. 23rd to the 24th.
23rd to the 24th of July.
At the
Day one.
Day one
is free.
Is free. Admission is totally free. All the presidents are going to present in the vision, the goals, and then we have a roundtable discussion. And then we come back the second day for the small businesses. How can you benefit from to move your goods across the Caribbean, accessing a market, a wider market for your products.
And of course, you have time to be able to implement or institute whatever you need to make sure that you capitalize on this. Again, thank you all for coming in and sharing with us. I know often it's difficult waking up this early, but after all, listen, they're going to be working with this board, and now I have the pronunciation correct. Connect Caribe.
Correct.
Ferry service. Yes, who knows? Maybe we'll be waking up to some type of red eye, and then I get to drop asleep and wake up in another country and do Morning Barbados.
Of Morning Barbados
Morning Barbados on Connect Caribbean.
Yeah.
You can do it in St. Vincent. You can do it wherever. So
we'll see you tomorrow in St. Vincent.
There you go.
Until then,
it was great being here.
Absolutely, it was good having you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we look forward to that stakeholder conference. Make sure you get out and be a part of it. And only $50 makes you a member on day 2. Day 1 is absolutely free. So get online and find out a little bit more information as well if you need to, but make sure you capitalize on it, whatever you do.